All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, it's 7:05. We're going to call the meeting to order. Any objections? All right, let's get started.
All right, thank you. So the first thing we want to do is approve our minutes from the last meeting. These have been posted on the website now since the last meeting. Any objections to approving minutes? Motion to pass. Thank you. Okay. All right, let's do a quick year in review. So most of you, I saw you moved from over there to here. Means that several of you have participated in all of these activities that I'm going to call out in a few minutes. We've done a lot this year, and I think it speaks really well for the volunteers that put in so much hard work in making all of these events, all of these experiences happen. It's hard work, it's not easy. And when it goes off without a hitch, no one stops to think how much time went in behind that. But we know, because we're all there for days ahead of time, weeks ahead of time sometimes, and certainly hours ahead of time, making sure that chairs are set up and food is ordered and all of the stuff gets done. So I want to say thank you for that. I want to call out specifically the folks that worked on our student experiences this year, the special events committee. The VP is not here, but she's done an amazing job. We had 3 special events that were sponsored by the PTO, the bowling event, the ice skating event, and also the Topgolf event. Can I see hands raised for how many of your students participated in any one of those events? Everyone? All right, and if you didn't, look around you, everybody's going. So next year, I want to see all kids out there. Our goal really is to make these experiences available and fun and exciting for all students. So we want all grades, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors all to participate and feel like they have a place and a community that they can do things with outside of school. So please, if your kids are not going, encourage them, tell them you saw the hands raised and everyone except your hand was raised. That might get them going. Okay. In addition to that, the PTO also helped in some cases facilitate, so that means pay for or volunteer or chaperone many other activities in the school year for the kids. So the kids themselves, we like if they have a plan, but sometimes they come to us a week before and say, hey, I want to do Snowco and it's next week. Can you get a chaperone? Right, Mr. Garner? We get a lot of last minute requests. And this is why I was saying I'm always grateful when I reach out to Mary and I say, Mary, we need 10 chaperones. And she's like, I can get you 15. And I love that answer. So this year we were able to get a lot of chaperones for several of these events. We were also fortunate to fund several of these events. Some that have been happening as a tradition across the years. So Snowco is one of them, and Valentine's Dance and a couple of other things. But there were some new ones this year as well. So if your kids are coming back next year, let them know that the PTO wants to help create that sense of community. And if they are participating or thinking about an event that they want to have for the larger school, we want to help them with this. Okay, the other thing I want to also talk about is the fact that we celebrated and supported teachers and staff throughout the year. And what I mean by that is this year, Mary and her appreciation committee has reached each and every teacher at CBHS. appreciated each and every teacher. And we have approximately 70 teachers, and we have, and staff, teachers and staff. And that includes everyone from Mr. Moss, all the way across all of our different classes, people that interact with our kids on a regular basis in the classroom, but also people that support those people that interact with our kids in the classroom. And so some of the admin folks, as well as our, let's say, our bus drivers. So we've really cast a wide net. If you are part of the CDHS family, we wanted to make sure that the appreciation team came out and appreciated you, and Mary made that possible. And I have to say, I want to give credit for this idea to Maria, who started this last year and gave me a long list last year, and I was like, no way, come on, that's not happening. But we struggled through it, we made it, and I think we got to all 70-ish last year. So this year, Mary made it look easy. Next year, I know she's going to be prepared, she's going to outshine even that. But in addition to appreciating them, the PTO throughout the year also offers a stipend for our teachers. And so we want to make sure that they are supported in any of their classroom needs. So that's something that we offer, and all of this is made possible by the donations that we get throughout the year. One of the other things that we focused on that I was particularly interested in was strengthening our community connections. And what that meant is all of us right here. I wanted to make sure that more parents get involved. And I just heard the number earlier from Mary that there's about 125 families that have been involved in one way or the other volunteering. So let me get a round of applause for all of you. And thank you for showing up. Thank you for forming that sense of community. We were able to have 3 events focused purely on parents. We did a fall fundraiser. We did a Crash Bash event that just passed. And in between, we also had a principal's breakfast that we invited parents to. So can I see a show of hands for how many people attended any one of those 3 events? Ooh. So a lot more people need to show up. All right, you need to talk to me afterwards why you didn't attend. No, I'm kidding. But really, we want to make sure that you feel that this is your family, right? If you need anything, you have questions about what's happening in the classroom, you have questions about, oh my God, my teenager just won't talk to me. Guess what? All of us are in the same boat. We're all, and some parents out there have great strategies on how to deal with this stuff. So get out there and talk to people. But that's one thing we want to continue doing next year, is bring that sense of community, get more people out. So if you have a friend or your child has a friend and their parents have never shown up to the PTO meeting, you're responsible now, okay, for bringing them next year. All of this, those 3 goals that I just called out, servicing our students, servicing our faculty, and servicing our parents, those were the 3 things we set out to do at the beginning of the year. And all of those things were made possible by a fantastic fundraising team. That VP is not here tonight because she had another commitment with her daughter, but she's done fabulous this year. She's gotten more people engaged, and she's gotten more money out of you. So thank you. Thank you for all of your donations. We appreciate it. All of these events that we do, everything that we do for all of our 3 kind of key focus area people that we focus on is all possible because of you. In addition to that, so we've improved our communication channel, and I want to say that I bet not everyone knows how many different ways we try to reach you. So every time I call out a communication channel, please raise your hand. I know this is going to be a little painful, but raise your hand to let me know that you are on that channel or you have taken advantage of that, okay? So who gets the Carnegie Vanguard High School PTO emails? Super. How many of you are in your particular class WhatsApp groups? Okay, I see a few people that need to join. A lot of good information there. And not all of it is sent out on email. There's a lot of good information about parents chatting back and forth. So if you want to get on the WhatsApp groups or you haven't received your emails, reach out to Soumya. Soumya, can you raise your hand? She's sitting right up here. Reach out to her and she's going to make sure you get to the right place. All right, how many of you have jumped on YouTube? Carnegie Vanguard PTO has a YouTube channel that has really great parent resources. We send out videos of our meetings. We also send out videos of things that are happening in events or people that come and speak at different Zoom meetings that we do for college readiness, for fundraisers, we had a freshman meet and greet, just a fun little event to say hello. How many people subscribe or have jumped on YouTube? Oh, okay. I need to see a lot more people jump on there tonight, okay? All right, so those are some of the ways. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. If you haven't seen us there, look for us, join, engage so you can see more of the content. We talked a lot about volunteer engagement tonight, so I won't speak any more on that, but I also want to talk about financial transparency and stability. So throughout the year, at every PTO meeting, we've shown the books, so to speak, to be able to be transparent to our parents, and we will tonight as well. So definitely make sure you're able to see kind of all of the different budgets that we set up at the beginning of the year and that we go in, and the work that we do is all kind of part of this larger conversation around how much money we can raise and what we can allocate to and where we think it has the most benefit. Okay, and on that note, can I get all of the board members, 2024, 2025 board members to stand up, please? All right, thank you, please. All right. Thank you. Mala is our treasurer, for those of you that don't know her. Soumya is our VP of Communication. Mary, VP of Volunteers. Maria, our past president, and Yoda in chief. These folks, plus there's several more that didn't come today, but these are the folks that make things happen. These are the folks that work over the summer to make sure we make a plan, and that's what's going to happen this summer. So earlier I said, if you are interested in certain committees, raise your hand now, raise your hand early so that the VP that's in charge of that knows that she has a strong commitment from someone and she can make better plans for how that committee can action and implement more things throughout the year. Okay, on that note, I will move forward. Okay, so for those of you that don't have seniors, you probably didn't attend the latest event that we had. It was on Monday of this week, and we had about, it's called Senior Award Night. We had about 400 people show up for that event, about 120 senior students and their families. So about 400 parents came in. This is a every year event that we do. It's a blast. It's our informal kind of graduation ceremony. The seniors do have an official graduation ceremony that happens at Del Mar Stadium. That's later in the year, about a couple of weeks maybe. Yep. Yep. And but this one is our way of celebrating our seniors, celebrating the faculty that support them, and we also offer, thanks to your donations, we also offer scholarships. So this year we had 10 PTO scholars, and you will see their names listed there, and we had 10 honorable mentions. So we had about 75-ish, I think, people that 84 people that applied. And similarly, there were parents that signed up. to review those applications, grade them, shortlist from them, and then interview the shortlist that then helps divide into these 20. So not only does it take money to offer scholarships for these students, but it also takes parent commitment to make sure that we're doing it in a way that's fair and that's helpful to our community. These scholarships, by the way, so for those of you that are not seniors, the scholarships are they're not need-based and they're not academically based, which means you don't have to be the valedictorian to apply for this. And you also don't have to have a financial need to apply for this. We ask for the kids to submit award, their any prior commitments and work, volunteer work that they've done through a resume. And we also ask them to submit an essay. So that's those two requirements. That's it. It's fairly simple. At that point in their time, by the time they submit their PTO essay, they've already written at least 5 essays for schools that they want to apply to, right? So don't tell them this, but they can recycle. Our prompts tend to be pretty generic and wide. It's a great way to get students involved that, you know, may not have felt that they could compete in other things, but we want to make sure that the PTO scholarship is fair and it's open for everyone. So if you're a rising senior or you're a rising junior, keep that in mind in the next year or 2 years. This is something you want to advise your kid on. The PTO scholars, each scholar gets $1,000 in scholarship to spend on any college-related activity. So that's the other thing. We don't limit them to just educational expenses. They could buy a computer, they could buy, you know, other things that they need, because we realize that going to college is it's a big deal. It encompasses more than just paying the school. So it's $1,000 for the PTO scholars, each of the scholars, and then it's $100 memorable mention for the rest of them, and they can certainly they get bragging rights, right? So that's the other thing. Okay. I also, before I step away from here, I also have a message from our school nurse. I know there's a whole lot, but if you guys have your phones with you, you can click on that QR code real quick and take that back. There is a form that QR code takes you to. If you have not filled out the Hazel Health form, then you should fill it out, even if you have insurance or you don't have insurance. Hazel Health gets you some basic things for your student in school, okay? As well, her second and third points are that Nurse Dana is looking for donations. So she's looking for donations on feminine hygiene products. She's looking for clothing donations for kids that sometimes get sent to her when they're not dressed in code. She might have a t-shirt or a jersey or shorts, something that she can give them. Okay. And I think that's it on this one. All right, really quickly, I won't spend too much time here. The May calendar is almost done, but look at how busy it's been. The kids just got done with their AP exams. Oh, sorry. Yep. It's been super busy. Something happening every day. AP exams this week I heard were late APs, which I don't have on the calendar, but that's a busy week. And then Memorial Day is coming up, but last day of school is June 4th. So if you planned a holiday before that, you might want to rechange. But June 4th is the last day of school, okay? And with that, I will pass it on to Mr. Garner to step in for Mr. Moss and give us a year in review. Yeah.
Thank you. Before I give a look at your views, And I stepped back to volunteer ceremony we had there. Now, I've been here for a while, and I know all schools speak of the importance of parent involvement. But Carnegie's inception is totally about parent involvement. The school does not exist if a group of parents back in 01, 02 didn't advocate. The school was not created by folks from central office. It wasn't created by people, staff, admin on campus. It was created by parents who advocated for their child's education. So, I just want to point that out. Year in review, Mr. Mawson didn't really give me a whole lot to say here. I think it was a great year, great year. I'm glad that we're 2 weeks, from ending. but so we had a lot of things going on this year. To say from our fest, been moved from the traditional fall to the spring. We want to get it back in the fall. To the dances. I help organize student council, and this year they wanted to improve the dances because last year they felt like the dances were, not many kids showed up, and so I think they did all right. I think we did some things there. I think in regards to extracurricular activities, UIL, volleyball girls, one district, that's a big one. Boys, went to the playoffs first time ever. The dance team, we went to their recital at the Bakey, excellent. So kids are doing what they can do, show off, not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom. So the state of Carnegie, right now, we are, last year we lost 4 teachers. Right now we're trying to replace 4 teachers. So we have that going on. I think that's a product of a larger things outside of our campus, and also people getting out of the education field. But we're hoping to replace those teachers with new, energetic folks who want to make it happen. So this year in review, I think it's been a great year, and hopefully next year, 25, 26, we will be better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vanguard. Okay, that's me. I'm a treasurer for this year. This is my 3rd year doing a treasurer. Every position has 2 years, and then I took a break. I had 2 kids, that's why. And it's not that, my kids are important, but one kid is important. I know, sounds funny when I think about it. Yeah, so this is my 3rd year doing a treasurer. So I pretty much look at these numbers on daily basis. So if I can go through them, step by step, but it's going to take forever. So I'm going to give you a glance, but if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me and I will give you a proper step, like a breakdown of every expense. Nothing gets spent, without showing it to the public, and everything is properly accounted. Every dollar we raise, it is our, in fact, responsibility to make sure that it's getting used towards Carnegie's students, teachers, and families only. So with that being said, let's start with our this report. There's an actual in the front, and then there's a budget. So what we budgeted in the beginning of the year. So every year we budget based on what happened last year, taking little bit contingency items like 10%, and then whatever is actual, it's going to help us decide next year. So you can't really foresee a future, you can only predict it. So in the beginning, we have a revenue. So when I do the total with all the friends and family donation, all the corporate matching, everything, taking out all the expenses were pretty much what we spent on our principal's breakfast, recognizing all the high donors, also all the credit card fees. So the total what we got was $80,703, and we budgeted for $71,500. So you saw we almost got over of 9,000, but we got more than what we budgeted for this year from all the friends and family and every other avenue. So thank you so much for that donation. Going down, in the past, there's a fish camp item here. Those of you who had a freshman, they the fish camp dues were given to the PTO, and then the PTO would just in turn, help the school, and then whatever is left from that fish camp, expenses and the revenue is given back to the class, and that money becomes their seed money. So when they are seniors, that money is what they start with, and then they use that money towards their senior activities. But this year, we are actually, PTO is not gonna do right this one. Yes. So this year from now onwards, when I say this year, like the next year, PTO won't be doing any freshmen, won't be taking any money for the freshman parents for the fish camp dues. So all that money is going straight to the HISD camp. So this is the last of fish camp item we'll see in our budget, and after that, this will be gone. We also help do the food sales. So all the food sales seniors do. We just they run it through PTO, but then all the money goes back to seniors. So it's just PTO helping seniors raise some of the money. And our seniors, so PTO is given 6 food sales days by HISD, and all those 6 food sales days were given to the seniors, and seniors, whatever they want to sell every year, it's pre-decided. So in the beginning of the year, you must have seen that kids were eating pizzas in the school. That is what those senior PTO food sales days were run by the seniors, and the money, and that's why you see we predicted 1,000, and we, the expense of 1,000. So literally nothing gets to PTO, but we do have a little bit of $1,200 so far, which I need to give back to seniors. Before I say anything, all these expenses and revenues are cash basis. So even though something is going to happen in the future, it's still not booked here until it will show in our bank. So everything is on very cash basis here. So if you're like, okay, why this expense not showing? I know it has happened because it has not been cashed yet in the bank. Then we have going down the Rhino Award banquet. So what Corey showed earlier for the seniors. So far I booked 1,300, but it still doesn't have a food sales account in it yet. So, but we predicted 4,500. So it is close to 4,500 because we haven't booked the $2,200 worth of food, which was set up for the seniors in the end. So we ended up spending 4,500, but it's still not there yet. So going down, we have a fall fundraiser. This year, unfortunately, we didn't raise any. It was not very successful this year. So we ended up having some venue expenses. So that's why you see a negative, not a positive, but that's okay. We already raised all the things on the top, so that doesn't really matter. Going down, there was a spring event that is our Crash Bash. So Crash Bash, all the everything taken into account, we ended up having $4,900 raised as a part of our fundraising effort from that event. Going down further, we do. Sorry, what did I do? I did something. Oh, yeah. Did you start it?
Next page?
No, I'm not. Where is it? That's my What happened? This one? Oh, go up. Yeah. So the swag, all the inventory, the t-shirts and all the swags we do, that's also counted here. I mean, you can see we don't really make much of a profit in swag. Pretty much we sell everything at cost. So, I mean, we only made $33. So, but it is again, just to keep the spirit of the school alive. PTO does this, not really for making any profit, but just to keep this item, just to keep momentum going. That's the goal pretty much. Okay, can you move down? So we have a little bit here and there, few items that were some Randall's checks we get, Kroger's check. There's a program run by Randall's Kroger where once you sign up Carnegie PTO as a charity or a nonprofit, they just keep sending. So even if somebody signed 10 years back that they preferred Carnegie Vanguard PTO as a preferred charity, so there's a small portion of sales every time that person is going and buying something from Randall and Kroger, something gets ticked in the system and that amounts get added. So every quarter I get that check automatically. I don't think anybody of us is doing any effort. That just money keeps on coming. And it's not a lot of amount, but it's about $300-400 in total, which we get every year. And then we have an interest income of $3,700, which we see, but we budgeted for 40 because in the middle of the year, this year, we decided to put some money in our CD. So that CD generated interest income, and that's what we see it here. So now that CD is matured, so that's why that interest income came right here. So that's the total of all the revenue items, and we got a total revenue of $86,265. Now coming back to the expenditure part, which is done all for the school. So we PTO. So the very first item is the prior period expenses. What that is, as I said, our system is cash basis. So our year ends in June. But if somebody has already gotten a check from me in June and they haven't cashed it, and it goes in July or August, so I have to put that expense here, but it's for the prior period. It's not for this year. So that's what it's usually those scholarship checks, which we write to the kids and they don't submit it. I mean, I know my kid is a guilty. The checks get sitting in the table for 2 months until mom comes and say, hey, you haven't deposited it. Oh, sorry, mom. And then, and that's where those expenses usually show up. Those are the prior period, not from this year. So that's that. And then going down, we have some PTO operating expenses, all the subscriptions for Zoom and different websites we pay. Going further down, president discretionary fund, which our president has a choice of using that money for whosoever any last minute ask. Sometimes we don't know which category it belongs to. So that's when Gauri comes in and say, I'll cover it under my president discretionary fund. Going further down, that's the hospitality, if you see. And under hospitality, you see the special event expenses. Those are the expenses we incurred. $5,200 is what we incurred for all those 3 events Gauri mentioned, for bowling, ice skating, and top golf. Even though we did ask parents for $10, yes, but still, after getting those $10, and those $10 were actually asked because people would take it seriously. Because first event actually we did it free, the bowling, nobody came. So that's why next time we decided, okay, let's ask for $10. So that at least that will give a commitment, and parents will actually send or the kids will show up. So, but despite getting those $10 per kid, we still ended up, spending this almost $5,000 for 3 events. Going further down, teacher appreciation events, lunches. So the $8,900 or $8,926 amount which you see, that is a total of all the appreciation that has been done, including the teacher lunches and everything. Now we have one more lunch left, which was supposed to happen today, but didn't happen. It has been moved to next week. So if we count that lunch, we will end up spending all those $10,150, which we estimated that needs to be spent. Going further down, it's a volunteer appreciation event. You see, we budgeted $800, and this was that event, the volunteer appreciation. So it's a very, very good example that I still haven't gotten any expenses here because the event is going on, and so that's what we budgeted $800 and for that. So Gauri. All right. So we also had an outreach committee helping for all the food drives. We did 3 times a year, helping all the families. So we budgeted for 2,000. We ended up spending almost $1,500 towards that outreach program as well. Further down, senior award. So if you saw for seniors student awards, we have budgeted $11,000. That's the scholarship amount we are talking about. So far, only one kid has actually used scholarship, has cashed the check. That's why, but we literally gave it on Monday. So at least kudos to that kid for being prompt. But the rest is going to come eventually. So going further down, school-wide events. So we do support clubs in the school. So if any student clubs come for any asks, we do help them. So that's where the club support is coming from. Going further down, teacher support. So teacher supplies and supports is all the stipends we give to teachers. So every teacher, as Gauri mentioned, gets $400. And those $400, if teacher would like, she can use or he can use it for anything towards their classroom supplies, no questions asked. So far, this is how much teachers have asked, and it doesn't get transferred. So if they don't use it this year, it's lost. So it's not like it gets carried over next year. Going further down, there's a big item for other instructional support, 62948 number. It's for $7,200. This is one of the first generation club. The trip we supported, it is run by Dr. Henny, and she takes the first generation kids to the different Texas university to give them experience, and PTO paid towards that trip. So this is the amount that's coming from that trip. So in total, we have a total expenditure so far of almost $4,500. But as I told you, more is coming. So in the end, we'll probably end up, not having much. Our goal is to raise exactly the money, but we like to spend. So we are very much a nonprofit. So our goal is not to have any profit at the end of the year, and that's what we hope for. But if whatever money is saved, it goes to the bank account. So next year we start with a 0. So. That's my report on it. And if anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm not expecting that you would know it now, but this report will go on our website. So if anybody wants to look at it later on and reach out to me, my email is treasurer, treasurer@cbhspto.org. So reach out to me. And for next year, I'm very interested. We are looking for an assistant treasurer position. Somebody who can work in a board. Is it a board position? Yeah. Right. It's a board position, and it's assistant treasurer. So if any one of you is interested, please reach out to board, and we'd love to have you in our team. Thank you.
Okay, good evening again. So quickly on the volunteer activities or the goals that we achieved. So like I mentioned, 100+ unique volunteers. We had 5 new student events this time, and that required a lot of volunteers. bowling, ice skating, top golf, freshman lock-in, and the new zoo field trip for the entire school. I think the students loved it. So hopefully we will do it next year also. That was a very successful event. Yeah. And the College Readiness Series Fair, which we targeted to complete before the early decision application, like October 15th. We celebrated 14 National Appreciation Days for teachers and staff, and Teacher Staff Appreciation Week, and monthly thank you lunches for the teachers, and the volunteer appreciation during Appreciation Week and the celebration that is happening today. And this is the list. Oh. So it takes a big heart by all of the volunteers. You will see all the names there. And thank you very much for that. And I want to thank our star volunteers. They went an extra mile this year to not just their own committee, and at any time when you call them, they are always there. And you can see their names, and 4 of them are here. One is Anna Marie. Please stand up. And he used to even email from her hospital bed asking for, okay, how are things going? I would say, take care of yourself. That much dedication she has. And next is Stan. Please stand up. And he took care of all the t-shirt sales, and not just that. In my appreciation committee, I used to ask Gauri, can I borrow her for my appreciation committee? She's there everywhere, and also today's event. Thank you, Stan. And next is Gauri. Yeah. Yeah, I have Lori in the next one. Lori, please. She is the one member of the membership committee, committee of one. She took care of everything, learned the technology, created the forms, and like Lori Dan mentioned, she is there assisting the spirit committee as well to help with everything. So they are the 4 ones who, and Irene, who was doing the emceeing, she already left. She is another person who has been helping with all the student activities, crash bash, and everything. And you can see the other 8 people as well. They are not here today, but they went the extra mile to help the school community. And here we have our admins who always go the extra mile for the PTO. So we have Mr. Moss, Ms. Matsu, Ms. Galloway, Ms. Williams. Did she leave? Oh. And Mr. Seha. And Ms. Hernandez, she helped with all the teacher supplies, coordinated everything with that. And Mr. Garner. And Mr. No, helping all our senior activities, all the senior celebration. He accompanied all the seniors to the senior field trip. That itself, yeah, will make you the star volunteer and be going the extra mile literally right to the camp. And then we have Miss Boogie and the staff. And the nomination, that's later. Okay. Yeah.
Next up, we have campus beautification update.
Hello. Very quickly, I'm Maria Calzano, past president. Campus beautification, quickly to jump to the end. We are using our budget to get some seating out in front of the school. We're starting small because in order to get seating that can get approved and will not walk off, we need to get some high quality seating and something that can be installed in the cement. So I have photos on my phone, and so I'm happy to share them. But I want to give a shout out to Dr. Haney in particular, who stepped up and joined the committee after the first semester. And it's like, how can I help? You know, because we have a lot of parents and some staff also who often have complaints, but no solutions. And Dr. Haney is somebody who I've been here 7 years now, because I also have 2 kids. And, you know, often people love to complain, but never bring solutions to the table. And Dr. Haney is the exact opposite. And Ms. Hernandez is also someone who is always ready to help. So I'm excited to have some seating out in front of the school. We're one of the few schools that doesn't have a place for our little ones, or not so little ones, to sit down early in the day. Whenever they get here earlier, they're staying late. So that is our project. And if anyone is interested in joining the Campus Beautification Committee, I will be working on that again next year. And over the summer, my husband and I are going to be working on the green roof, the second floor area, because we learned this year with Principal Moss that this is something that just cannot be done during the school year. So we're hoping that maybe over the summer we might be able to work with some contractors. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're now at kind of general update has completed, and what we're going to do is we'll see nominations for next year's board. So there were some courageous people that stepped up and said they would serve on next year's board. What? Sorry. So there is a nomination process for this, and everyone went through interviews as well in the nomination committee, who is Meghna Goswami was the chair of the nomination committee. She couldn't be here tonight, but Mary, do you want to? Okay, I will go ahead. All right. So here are the nominees for next year's board. For president, yes, I didn't have enough work this year. I want to do it again. And I have signed up, but I will honestly say, you guys made it easy this year, and I'm hoping for that same support, okay? So please show up, don't not show up next year. Yasi Lakvi, she is not here today. She is on the board this year as secretary. She has completed her 2 years as secretary on the board as of this year. And next year, also a very courageous soul, has signed up to take on more responsibility and be the VP of fundraising and development. Super excited about that. Yasi has contributed a lot this year, and we're super hopeful that fundraising is going to be a lot of fun next year. Soumya, do you want to stand up, please? You guys are VP of Communications this year, and Brave Soul has also signed up to communicate with you guys again next year. Thank you. One of the really big achievements, I don't want it to go unspoken, is that Soumya has reduced our IT budget to close to minimal. We started, and Maria will agree with me, that when Maria and I, or Maria before me, we were talking about for years how we had too many technologies in the PTO, being utilized in the PTO. And they had all been a collection of different things that people were used to using. This is better than that, let's use that. And everything, you know, it only is a $50 subscription, no big deal, and it adds up. And that IT budget, like every other organization, had gotten really big. And over the last 2 years or so, starting with Maria's leadership, we kind of started working on how to make that a much smaller footprint than we had before. And thanks to Soumya, this year we've been able to get it down to bare bones. We have one clear, singular supportive technology that we use. We've been able to reduce a lot of the outgoing kind of subscription wasteful money. And so your emails come from the same place, your newsletters come from the same place, your any of like the YouTube stuff that we do, Facebook, all of that is free. So we've really tried to narrow it down a lot. And that's all thanks to her. And like I said, we're hopeful. You have big shoes to fill for next year. Okay, in addition to that, we also have Mary Matthias, courageous, stepped up to be VP of Volunteers again. Now that's one of the hardest roles, is to convince people to show up. And the fact that she got 125 people convinced this year to show up for something or the other is quite remarkable. Mary, next year we're going for 200 or at least 3. And then Irene Gonzalez, she is a new addition to our board. Irene stepped up to be, or raised her hand to be VP of Special Events. And it's no surprise she was nominated. She's a freshman parent. And if you've seen Irene, if you don't know who Irene is, you've seen her walking around every event with the baby on her hip. And she was here today. She was here on Monday, moderating the 400 people event. She was here at the Top Golf event. She was here at so she's done an amazing job. I feel like she has a natural talent for this, and I'm really hopeful that next year's events are going to be even much more fun. Okay, Vaibhavi was our VP of Special Events this year. She got us started to a really great start. As I mentioned, we had so many more student events this year, a lot of parent events this year. She's gotten a new job. She wants to take on a role that's not as commitment heavy, time heavy. And so she's raised her hand to be parliamentarian. And I think those are the nominees. So do we vote at this point, or how do?
Do I have a motion to vote on the slate of nominees as they have been stated, or is there, are there questions? Is there a motion? Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor, raise your hands. That is the majority. The slate passes.
Thank you. The slate passes with the majority. All right, and that is our event for the night. Thank you very much for everybody that came, and thank you for everybody that stayed and listened. There's a lot of food, so please stay back, grab something to eat before you leave.